There it is. We are in beautiful Las Vegas. It is the Hall of Fame induction for the UFC. It is out here beautiful, ahead of 276 for UFC. We about to get on camera, DC. Get your boy Khabib dancing. Y'all in the Hall of Fame. Let's go.
No, we're in the Hall of Fame. Let's go. All you got to do is move your body a little bit.
Just feel it a little bit.
Let the music move you.
This guy have to move, brother.
Man.
This is only Hall of Famer sitting.
You know what? I'm very excited to be sitting here because I heard that Khabib only sits with Hall of Famers.
Bro, he's out of his mind. This guy, he came to my house the other day and made people not sit at the table because of tea. But it's okay. You know, we're all honored to be sitting here.
Yeah.
I mean, well, it's two Hall of Famers and a guy that spent a lot of money watching y'all build your Hall of Fame careers. So, Khabib, what is it like tonight? What was that feeling going into the UFC Hall of Fame with, I guess, your good friend, Daniel Cormier?
To be honest, it was like very fun day. Same day, it was very busy day, very emotional day, you know, and same time is like very big honor, you know, to be inducted UFC Hall of Fame with my brother DC, you know, it's like, this is history, this is legacy, you know.
DC, it's an awesome feeling. Obviously, I was there when you got the announcement in Phoenix, and you mentioned getting an opportunity to go in with your brother, with your teammate, someone you spent so much time with. What was that feeling like for you when you finally got to walk on that stage and heard that Daniel Cormier is a 2022 inductee into the Hall of Fame?
It was so gratifying, man. I cried tears talking about my parents because the lessons I learned from these people, man, they're gonna be with me for the rest of my life. But to be able to share this honor with Khabib is, you know, honestly, we make fun of each other a lot about the way you talk about Troy Polamalu and the way I talk about Khabib. It's like the impact that this young man has made on our gym and that he still makes today is second to none. So for us to go out there and represent not only ourselves and our families, but also our gym in the American Kickboxing Academy in San Jose means the most. To see, I mean, all of our coaches were there. Javier Mendez was in there crying. Bob, Dwayne Zinkin, all my coaches. It was just a great night, man. I'm so excited.
You both had amazing UFC careers, MMA careers, but the one thing that touched me tonight was listening to both of you guys have an opportunity to pay tribute to your parents.
Yeah.
When you got that opportunity, DC, obviously you cried. Khabib said how emotional it was for him. What does this moment mean for your entire families?
Oh, go ahead.
You know, it's like parents, it was like biggest part of my life. The biggest part of my success, you know, that this is how I grew up, where I grew up, very traditional religion family, and I'm very happy for this because I didn't know, like, if without my faith, without my religion, understanding how I'm gonna handle this, what happened like 2 years ago when when my father passed away, you know, it's like, but like religion teach me like how you have to handle this, but who teach me religion? Who gave me this way? It was my parents, and you know, it's like I don't know, I can be thankful for this reason to my parents, but all my life I never gonna forget what they did for me. You know,
it's the same for me. You know, just being able to pay tribute to the work that they put in order to get me to where I am today. It was emotional. I look down at my sister, my nieces; they're all crying because the loss of our mother is still fresh in our family. She was just that important. And I felt like it was great to be able to do that for her and my dad. Now, when I got going and we got into the speeches, we got into the talks, Khabib starts to talk and I'm sitting out there watching. And he's reading his notes, which they didn't give him enough notes. But you never talked about the McGregor fight in 2018. I was a bit surprised that you didn't even talk that story. You talked about
maybe he didn't even want that name in his speech, DC.
No, but we talked about this before, but it's like maybe like, brother, why you don't talk about this? Talk about this just a little bit.
Already all world was watching this fight. People talk about something like when they want to promote this. Like this fight become like bigger than our sport, bigger than MMA, bigger than
Yes,
UFC.
but this is also a very defining moment. You said it today on the red carpet.
Like all the time talk about this, I don't like, to be honest, but this is like one of the best moment ever happened in my professional career, you know? 2018, October 6.
I love how you put
when
the
I
dates
finished
on.
this
How you
guy
know
here,
all these dates?
I remember
You remember every day.
I remember everything. almost. And it's like, like people never talk about one things. People never talk about when I jump, with me jump all this sport, to another level.
Yeah, you think so? You
I
think
agree
that
with
in
that.
that moment it elevated?
No, I talk about like this fight and everything what happened after fight. Of course, like Dana, Hunter, everybody was like, a little bit upset. Like they act.
But were they really upset?
But no, I don't.
They weren't.
Think so. I don't think so.
It changed the way people
Only one
look
guy
at
was
it.
upset.
Ooh.
Me, when I go to the black room, I didn't have my belt. I'm like, Hunter, where's my belt? Bring belt. He said, brother, please, be relaxed. I'm gonna bring you. But no, bring me belt.
Brother, you remember
Because I choked this guy. Tap, where's my belt? What is this?
DC, what
This
did
is-
you do? What did you
This
do
is not fair. This is like freedom speech country. Okay, give me my belt. I
Bro.
beat this guy.
I paid to watch Khabib fight $10,000, $2,500 a ticket.
Only
I paid.
talk. Only talk.
Hey,
This guy
hey.
only 15,000.
No, I don't owe you $15,000.
Brother, you
He's a
have to
liar, bro.
Did he tap you out?
Bro, no. We
show
bet. We
show
bet.
contract. Show contract.
Doesn't
Brother,
matter
you
if
have
you said-
contract. We sign contract.
Ryan, we bet. One time we had this guy bet.
He's the guy.
He bet on a Brazilian guy against it. Well, he doesn't bet.
Okay.
I bet him, right? Because he won't bet. So I bet him, and then he goes, brother, if you pay me, okay. So he said, I will not take 15,000, 1,500. If his English doesn't work good, that's on him. He said 1,500. Then he sends me a contract for $14,900 in Instagram. Pay right now to Khabib Nurmagomedov on my credit, which he doesn't even know what credit is. He doesn't even know what credit is. He's gonna be
No,
severely affected.
listen. You want I post a video? How we make like shake
but
hands?
You can't
like,
cut
man
the video
versus
right after you. Before
UFC
you,
champion versus UFC champion.
This
We
guy's out
we
of his
shake
mind.
hands.
See,
We shake hands. I'm gonna post this video. Okay.
Habib, this is what we know about you. One, so already
He's a
we've
liar.
learned that he's cheated you out of $15,000.
$14,900 to the records if it's to be.
He cheats on the show constantly, and we know you're a guy with morals and with principles. So how do you feel finally hearing DC admit to the world that he cheated in New York and put his hands on? Or did you already?
Habib, look at this. You see, Habib.
Towel's bending.
Yeah.
DC.
So look. The towel went down, Habib, too much. It went to 203 pounds.
Look, other guy. Look, Camacho. He act
Camacho
like,
in the back. What is this?
No, listen.
Camacho's over there. The lady on the floor. Like, what happened?
Like, Sheriff doesn't care about any problems. It's been like this. If you guys don't catch him, okay. This is like Charles Oliveira have to watch this a lot.
You didn't. So,
Yes.
Habib, that was
After that, they change towel, right?
they
After
put
UFC.
like a black curtain.
Yes,
like a
they
black
put
thing.
like- even you
Hey,
can-
but this is the thing, right? You don't see. Hey,
don't see.
That's not my
Oh,
problem.
they see only legs. They
Hey,
What
see only
made you
legs.
tell the world, DC?
Because
This
listen,
has been
man,
the world's
the burden,
best
the
kept secret.
Hey, Ryan, the burden of that lie, I don't lie. So having to carry a lie like that on my heart was too much. I'm an innocent guy, Habib. You know me not to lie. I don't
Yes.
lie. So it was hard for me. I could not sleep at night.
No, sometimes you lie, brother. Yes,
Yeah.
you lie. You lie about contract, $50,000. You lie. I have contract. I have video. If you go court, brother, I'm gonna sue you. Believe me. I'm
You're gonna
sue
sue
you.
me?
You're gonna go jail.
What?
Yes.
People's court.
If we go,
Brother, listen. Listen.
it's okay. I know you have kids,
Hey.
family, everything. I forgive you. I forgive
Hey,
you,
listen,
but-
next time I'll have you English breakfast tea
Okay.
when you come to my house.
Finally. This guy give me like crazy. You know how I drink this? I close my eyes like crazy. Like it was like it was not even hot.
It was hot.
No.
The reason it wasn't hot was because you kept bothering me in
This
order
is
to
off the rails.
Can you please come? Can you please hurry? Where's the tea? Where's
Brother,
the
I
tea?
call you 3 hours ago. Hey, I'm coming.
Why didn't you respond to the message when I said what kind of tea do you want? Anyway, guys, hey, that's Khabib Nurmagomedov, 2022 UFC Hall of Famer Khabib.
Thank you, brother.
I said
Congratulations, brother.
2022 Hall of Fame.
Congratulations,
Thank
my
you,
brother.
Thank you so much.
All
This
right,
guy who's sitting here.
I'm just hanging.
This
This
guy,
guy
he's
just
the
hanging
man,
out.
I don't even know his name.
This guy, bang, tackle you.
Like, I wanna watch. Who are you? Like,
My name is Ryan.
no. Like, what you?
All right, guys,
Ball.
it's Saturday. No, it's not baseball.
Golf,
It's football.
golf like this.
This guy don't know nothing,
I
man.
think he does know. He's just pulling my
Send me the-
chain.
He is. Hey, he spent way too much time in the gym with me. 'Cause
Way
that's
too
all
much
I do
time.
is talk trash. Later, Khabib. Thank you. This is the best, Khabib. Hey, guys, UFC 276 is as they hug Israel Adesanya versus Jared Cannonier. We got Alexander Volkanovski versus Max Holloway III. Ryan, Sean Strickland versus Alex Pereira. And is Pedro Munoz going to be the guy that can knock off Sean O'Malley. I mean, bro, this is a massive fight card. And it seems like, as long as there ain't no football, you had the big ones.
Hey, hey, listen, I like coming to the big ones. And DC, here's the other thing. Next week, I guess what? It's going to be 6 days from the event will mark our 1-year anniversary of when the show started.
That's even better.
But so DC, right? Yep. Obviously, we're here tonight because you got inducted into the Hall of Fame, to the UFC Hall of Fame. You should be in the MMA Hall of Fame, Combat Sports Hall of Fame. Whatever it is that you've been a part of, you've done it at the highest level.
Yes.
What we've seen from some of these fight cards recently is fighting at the highest level. And this is International Fight Week. This is a week where we see the best come out. What are you looking most forward to on this card?
You know, honestly, I think it's Strickland and Pereira. Like, Pereira, I was talking to Sean Strickland today, and he said something that I was like, wow, he can't possibly believe this. When he said, my pride makes me want to fight him where he's good at. Bro, we have seen what Pereira does to people that stand and strike with him. I mean, he has a knockout over Israel Adesanya.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is he doing? But this could all be smoke and mirrors, but this is the fight I'm looking forward to.
Well, whether it's smoke and mirrors or not, DC, I like a guy like Sean Strickland because he looks at the fight game the same way the Pittsburgh Steelers looked at defense.
Yeah.
No matter who we were going against, we felt like, okay, if you're physical, we want to meet you where you're physical.
Yeah.
You're a team that likes to pass the ball, we're going to blitz you and get you out of that. And maybe Sean Strickland just has that mindset that, you know what, I'm going to meet Pereira where he is.
Yeah.
Think about, though, when we watched Alex in the last fight have to come through in the third round.
Yep.
When it was brutal, when it was dirty, there was dirty boxing. He was getting taken down, and he showed up in the third round. I want to see if Sean Strickland is going to be able to take him to that place on a card that will feature Israel Adesanya in the main event.
It's a #1 contenders fight, right?
Yeah.
It's about as clear as a #1 contenders fight as you get, considering that Izzy is calling for both of these guys. Now, where Sean Strickland has to be careful is in the in-between. Because Pereira's a fantastic counter striker. He's a guy that in the middle of your punches, he can find the spots to knock you out.
Yeah.
The problem is, Sean Strickland's constantly throwing punches. He never stops. It's his pace and pressure that overwhelms you. It's a big spot for these two. But ultimately, and don't care what Max Holloway says, because Max says they're the main event, people are here Saturday to watch Israel Adesanya.
Yeah.
And when you look at Izzy, RC, do you see a guy that transcends the sport of MMA? Do you see that guy that's at that level of star that he's just recognizable, not just in the mixed martial arts world, but to the sports world in general?
I think Israel Adesanya has figured out how to be captivating in a way that not most fighters can.
Yeah.
Right? He's a guy, he's charismatic. He's talented in other ways other than fighting.
Yeah.
And you love listening to him talk. But now we're seeing him understand the game too. Right? Understand calling people out, setting myself up for the next fight, setting myself up for the next thing, even being ultimately focused on the task at hand, which is defending his belt. But when you look at the landscape of his division, it has to be take care of business here and fight one of these guys who wins, whether it's Pereira or Strickland, and set that up. And Israel Adesanya is getting an opportunity to get into superstardom to me.
Yeah.
Right? I don't just pay attention to what he does here or to what he does in training. You're watching him on YouTube. You watch Israel Adesanya watch fights more attentively than you watch some of the fights. That's where he's gotten to, and I think he's learned to captivate the fight world in a way that you did while still kind of being the villain, which is very difficult.
You know, he does that. And I very rarely, when I talk to these guys, have that feeling of, wow, this dude, like, he's big, right? Because when you've done the things that we've done, it's hard. But there are certain people that when they carry this aura about themselves, when they come around you, you're like, wow, this dude's a little bit different. And Israel Adesanya is that type of guy. But in the Killer Gorilla, Jared Cannonier, he's big, strong, he's physical, and he's coming from heavyweight.
Yes.
I feel like Izzy said that he struggled with Blachowicz because of his size. It was heavy once he got him down. Jared's a big guy that is fought as heavy as 245 pounds. Yeah. Does he have that type of base to smash Adesanya down if he can get him to the ground? Look, there are fights that you can make much easier if you approach them the right way. Is Jared Cannonier willing, though, to do that? Because for as great as Adesanya is, RC, and I hate bringing this up because I'm sad that I brought my friend to a fight in Arizona and you had to sit through with Carla Esparza and Rose. I got to be honest. But the reality is, Carla fought the fight that she had to fight to win. Because if she fought her too much, Rose would have picked her apart. Rose would have maybe knocked her out. That's what you have to do against Izzy. Because when you fight him close, and that's never been more apparent than in Robert Whittaker too.
Second fight.
Because Robert was more patient. He didn't leave many counter opportunities. You find yourself going into the 5th round and it's 2-2. You're like, wow, I'm actually in the fight.
But DC, is that good? Is that good for the sport?
See, but that's the thing though, right? If you're trying to become champion for the first time, do you care about the sport?
Right.
You want that gold belt. That has to be first above everything else. So while I get the fight may be boring, I truly do believe to beat Israel Adesanya, the fight has to look a little bit boring because the guys that rush him, Paulo Costa, guys like Robert Whittaker in fight 1, he will destroy you. But in fight 2, 5th round, 2-2, Yoel Romero, close match, 2-2. Long as
but you look at you look at both of those fights, I feel like we didn't get to see the best of either fighter. And no, but you're absolutely right, DC. The name of the game is winning.
Win.
Whatever you have to do to get that gold strap at the end of the fight.
Like that.
Exactly. The name of the game is winning. But Izzy has also shown that he has the ability to be patient as well.
Oh, yeah, he does.
To not reach, to not feel like I got to go out and defend the belt, that if you're not going to approach me, if I don't have opportunities for counter strikes, then I won't put myself in a bad position or in danger to be touched or to be taken down. And so it's going to be very interesting to see if Jared can take this fight into deep waters where he has an opportunity to win and then use his size, use his ability to grapple and get Israel Adesanya out of there. I don't want to see Carla Rose too, though.
No. But
I in no way want that.
But listen, though, even Jan Blachowicz, right? Those first few rounds, it was leg kick Jan, leg kick Izzy, leg kick Jan, right hand miss, right hand land. Very, very few strikes landed. And in the 4th and 5th, Jan takes him down. So it's like, you got to fight him a certain type of way. Now, in the co-main event, RC, Max Holloway, Alexander Volkanovski 3. These guys have fought 2 times in very competitive fights. Many people believe that Max won fight 2, to the point that FanDuel refunded anybody that bet Max. Bro, he sent me the article today.
I didn't know that.
Dude, it's the craziest thing. Max Holloway sent me an article that says FanDuel has now, look, it said, Sportsbook gives bad bet refunds to anyone who bet on Max Holloway winning at UFC 251. So FanDuel...
That's how close the fight was.
They thought that Max won. They thought that it was a bad decision. But even in that, RC, are you surprised that fight 1 went to Volk, very close. Fight 2, people thought Max won. Alexander Volkanovski is a 2-1 favorite going into this fight. Why are the odds looking like that whenever the fights have been that close?
Because you know what happens? When you go back and you watch both of them, Alexander Volkanovski never seemed like he was out of control, though.
Yeah.
You know, like even though, especially early on in the second fight, it looked like Max was getting off on him and Max was kind of picking him apart. Alexander Volkanovski, or Volk, he stayed calm, right? He stayed chill, and he stuck to his game plan. And my lead scout, my lead UFC scout is my son, Jordan Clark.
Yeah.
Right? So I call him, and he loves the ESPN Plus package. He's like, Dad, I'm about to go back and watch the first fight.
That's yours.
Yeah.
Oh, he using yours? He got the VIP?
Yeah, he got the VIP.
He
got the VIP. You know, and so he goes back and he watches the fight, and he's like, yeah, Dad, we talking about the first fight. Because in the first fight, it was all stand-up. Nobody landed a takedown, and he was able to kind of pick him apart. Then the second fight, he figured him out a little bit late. He asked me this question, which I'm going to ask you. He said, Dad, if they fight 10 times, do you think Max ever wins?
Wow, he thought, but because he saw, what did he see in Volk? It's crazy, right? Because I think Max can win. What I do think, though, is that Volkanovski seems to possess a style that's hard for him to win over time.
Yes.
Right? It's super close, and every round's going to be close. But it seems hard for Max to be able to separate himself enough from Volkanovski to get those.
Well, the other piece of it, too, DC, is Max overwhelms opponents,
Yeah,
right? Like when you watch Max, when he's at his best, when you get to see him against the Calvin Caters, or you get to see him against the Yair Rodriguez, it's nonstop pressure, right? He continues to go, and eventually his opponents can wilt.
Yep.
Alexander Volkanovski doesn't wilt. He doesn't wilt. He continues to strike. He continues to fight. But to me, what I've seen, he continues to strategize.
Yep.
A lot of times people get caught.
Smart.
Yeah, people get caught up with Max, and it's like, okay, let's go. Right? This is what we're going to do. We're going to stand up and we're going to strike. And he's okay to get a little, to give a lot. And Alexander Volkanovski, I feel like his style, he's figured out a way where he can counter or where he can be first and sometimes throw Max off of his rhythm, which to me is something that you don't see a lot with him. And I think that's what makes these fights so exciting.
It makes Volkanovski extra special. We talked about this, and I brought this up to him the other day. I interviewed him, and I said, how are you getting better? I go, Ryan and I watch you fight, and we wonder, first off, how does he never get tired? How does he improve every time? Because that zombie fight was an absolute masterpiece. But it also showed that it has to be him and Max.
Yes.
Because when they fight other people, they kind of dominate him. So Max can win. Right? And I do believe, he believes that it's going to look easy this time. And many believe he's the greatest featherweight of all time. I know you don't because you love Jose Aldo. But if Max is to win, he's got to fight his fight and be able to sustain that over 25 minutes because Volkanovski will not change. Now, this fight card is stacked top to bottom. We can go all the way to the first prelim, all the way to the end. But there's also a guy on the pay-per-view that is now making pay-per-view his home, even as a guy that's not a champion, isn't close to a championship. Sugar Sean O'Malley.
Your guy, your friend.
He's a star.
Y'all friends now.
Yeah,
so we taking pictures and
stuff?
stuff?
I did. I talked to him the other day. I walked up to him. I was like, hey, man, I hope you don't think that I'm mad at you. Like, I don't get mad at people, right? But it's like, he goes, nah, we're good. We're good. You know, da-da-da. We had a little conversation. All good.
Can I tell you a secret?
Yeah.
This is so my whole family is now just huge UFC fans. And so my daughter, we're in the airport, and I'm talking about you, and I'm so excited that you're going into the Hall of Fame. And my daughter goes, DC is so adorable.
What is that? That's kind of.
I was like, what do you mean?
What does that mean?
She's like, Dad, he just looks so nice. And the next adjective was, and so cuddly.
I said, you look like Santa Claus.
I was like, maybe that's why all these young dudes keep trying my boy.
Yeah. Because I'm nice, right? I do nice. Hey, look, Ryan. When you've done the things we've done and you got what we got, it's hard to be mad. Where you come from, where I come from, I mean, I'm over here wearing a Hall of Fame jacket. Hey, dog, it's hard to be mad.
Why you walking around upset? It's no reason to.
Man, I'm telling you, man, I'm living life, dog. I'm good. I got money. I got my family. We healthy. Like, I'm good. But now, we get to Sean O'Malley, and he got Pedro Munoz, right? Pedro Munoz has a 9, a single digit, in front of his name in terms of rankings. How does Sean O'Malley approach Pedro Munoz? Because we have seen Pedro hurt now. Is Sean going to be the guy to put him out?
Well, I think the one thing I liked about Sean when he came on our show was you asked him about the clock. He was like, well, look at the clock. He's like, because I understand this might be a 15-minute fight. And I love the fact that he's setting himself up in his mind that if these are 3 hard rounds, I'm going to fight every round, but I'm going to fight every round contained. And I go back to his last fight, and I remember watching it and looking at him and saying, okay, he's picking his shots, right? He has his guy hurt, but he's still picking his shot. He's not overthrowing. And to me, that showed me a maturity in the way that he fought that I don't think people give him because of the way he looks.
It's the hair. Bro, I'm telling you, and you know who said that to me? And this is the thing, like, we don't get to hang out much anymore, me and Khabib, because of our lives, you know, and he's in Russia. Because we were behind at the Hall of Fame today, we had hours. So we were talking about Sean O'Malley. I said, what do you think of him? He goes, he's really good. He goes, I think people don't take him as serious because of the hair. He goes, but he's a tremendous striker. And he is a really good jiu-jitsu guy. What we haven't seen tested is the wrestling in between. Can Pedro Munoz challenge him in those ways? But look, we all have a expiration date. And you could have the most iron chin in the world. And then eventually one day, the chin stops being as resilient. It stops being as durable. Pedro has now started to get hurt. He never used to get hurt before. If there's a guy at bantamweight that is going to put his lights out, it's this kid. Because Sean O'Malley possesses tremendous power in his hands, and he will knock you out. But if he does, right, if he does that again, he will light this place on fire. and he will be off to the moon in terms of where he's going to go in his career.
Yeah, think about this, right? This is a guy who has already acquired fame.
Yep.
In this sport, which to me is a harder thing to do because we've seen champions that don't become household names.
Yep.
He's already, to me, in this sport, a household name. And so now when you start collecting the wins against the single-digit guys, you start to get into championship contention, which changes the dynamic of the way people see you.
Everything.
And so if he's able to knock Munoz out, whether early or you get it late in the fight and he shows he can have that power late to knock out a true contender, I think it changes the way the fans view him, but I also think it changes the way the organization views him.
Yep.
Right, and now you're going to want to see him against the grapplers. You're going to want to see, can he continue to ascend against some of the tougher fighters in his weight class? But my thought on him is very much like Izzy. Sugar Sean's good for the UFC.
He really is.
You know,
he really is.
People
pay attention.
People pay attention to him, but it's also like it's hard to be Daniel Cormier, right? It's hard to be. I came up wrestling. I'm an Olympian. I went through Strike Force. Now I'm in UFC. So like it's hard to do that. He's found a different way to be at the forefront of this sport, and if he wins on Saturday, it does a totally different thing for him.
He'll be in the top 10.
And I think we start to see him in co-mains and main events on fight nights, and eventually main events.
Yeah. He'll start main event. Yeah. I mean, the guy is going to be in the top 10 in his weight class. I think he's great for the sport. I think there's a ton of potential for him. Now, as Sean O'Malley starts to ascend to the top, we have two guys that have been in the game for a while, Donald Cerrone and Jim Miller.
Yeah.
They're rematching this weekend. You know, Donald has long said that he's coming to the end. Jim Miller is not ready to call it a career. He's actually still fighting very well. But when you look at Cowboy, he isn't making the weight. He's fighting at 170. What do you expect to see after having 3 fights scheduled in such a short period of time and also up a weight class, not having to deal with the weight? Because you got to think, right? When we're in Arizona and they tell him, or we're in Austin was second. He's not fighting. You go have a couple. I mean, this guy has a couple beers, right?
He's a cowboy.
He's a cowboy. How quickly can he get back into that mindset of I have to fight a guy in Jim Miller who I know is super tough, and it may be my last time making that walk?
And so, you know, I don't get to say this is what it's like to make that walk to the octagon.
Yeah.
But we all know when it's coming to an end.
Yep.
As an athlete, you can feel it. And I felt like, I remember playing Philadelphia, the second to last game of my career, and I had 22 tackles.
Whoa.
And I already knew. I'd already told Yonk, my wife, in November. I was like, I'm done. I was like, this is it.
You could tell, bro.
I was like, this is my last year. But I remember thinking I still had something left, and I wanted every ounce of it to be out. And I think that's what we're going to get to see from Cowboy. Whether it's quick and whether he has it or not, we still have to wait to see that. But I think he understands this is close to end. And you not only want to prove, I wanted to prove to myself one of two things. That if I had something left, I could go out and use it.
Yep.
And also, I wanted to know that I didn't have no more. And I think that's what we're going to get as he walks to the octagon this time on Saturday.
Because if it goes great, he'll know, hey, there's something. But if there's that something, right, that something shows itself, you still got to be okay with walking away. Because ultimately, when you don't have any more, you go out there and you get destroyed, right? So it's like, I think we'll see a great fight. I think we'll see two guys that want to win. I do think that the Lozon fight was more tailor-made to what Cowboy needs now, because I think Jim Miller's still insanely relevant in the weight class still. But it is what it is. He gets a guy that's littered across the record books just like him, a guy that is second in finishes. Cowboy's got the most bonuses. Jim Miller's in the top 3. They've both been around for a long time, and I think this fight is going to show us exactly where Cowboy Cerrone is and where Jim Miller is. So I can't wait to get to Saturday. Ryan, thank you for coming, bro.
Brother, I would not have missed it for the world, man. We were in Costa Rica. Even the wife was okay with making sure we got here, man, tonight. Congratulations, bro. Your speech was amazing. I've never been a part of a UFC Hall of Fame induction, and to have one of my close friends going in, one of the best co-hosts a guy could ever ask for. It was beautiful to be here, man.
Ryan, thank you for coming, bro. And honestly, if you've been to the Hall of Fame tonight, that is what I hope the UFC Hall of Fame stays. Because before, they did it in the middle of the fight week, the International Fan Expo. Make it something that stands alone, that truly matters, that truly means something to the people that you love and the people that have supported you on this journey. RC, every single week I enjoy doing this show. I know so many people are excited about seeing it tonight after the Hall of Fame. I'm glad we could give that to them. And for Khabib for joining us.
Nah, man, this was an awesome night. I got to meet your people. I talked to your brother. It was awesome.
That's crazy. They probably all ran up on you.
Hey, I told them you were great. They said not so much. But, hey, to have this show on this night, it was beautiful, man. Congratulations again, my friend. All love. And we missed it up.
We missed. We actually missed.
Good.
We got to do this shit again. Yeah. We actually missed.